there.
Oh, hello there.
I'm Kate.
And I'm Bradley.
And this is History Buffoons.
Welcome to History Buffoons. How are you, Kate?
I'm warm.
I know. It's a warm day outside, so.
Yeah, my house is 72, so hopefully that will change.
Wow, it's old.
Well, no.
So you're saying it's 72 degrees?
Degrees.
Okay. I mean, that's, you got to get specific.
Fahrenheit.
Not Celsius.
Yeah, I turned off the AC.
But why?
Last week because it was a cool week. And then my husband gets home and he turns it back on, which I'm thankful for because it needs it.
Right.
But it's really high at 72 right now, so.
Cats. Infiltration. They're like, ooh, cords.
Yeah, they know it's almost dinner time. Anyway, so we do not have beers with us today.
We do not.
We have
a cocktail.
Yeah.
I decided that, hey, we've been doing a lot of beers. Why don't we do a cocktail? Mm-hmm. Are you okay?
I'm really irritated at Oliver right now.
Yeah, well, we might have to take care of him short, or do that.
It didn't work. Oliver!
I like how you threw a mouse at a cat.
Computer mouse, folks.
Yeah, not a real mouse, because she'd be like, eek.
No, so my husband Nathan has been gone a little bit more recently, and Oliver is definitely a daddy's boy.
Right.
And he is just wreaking havoc.
He's missing some pop time.
Yes, he very much is.
Which is understandable.
Yeah.
That's how my kitty sway was. So.
Yeah. Okay, so tell me about the cocktail, because it's beautiful, and we're going to put a picture up on our
website.
Yeah.
And maybe other places.
Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe just the website.
Okay, what is it?
So it's just your traditional gin and tonic.
Love.
Which I know you're a fan of, I'm a fan of. With some strawberry puree. Mm-hmm. Garnished with a lime, strawberry, and some mint.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it turned out like the look of it turned out exactly what I was hoping for.
Yeah, it's really, really pretty.
I don't know if we should mix the puree together. I don't know if I used too much puree. I don't know. Overall,
you just made this up yourself.
Yeah, it's really not that in depth. It's just, like, let's add some fruit to a gin and tonic is what my head said. And like, ooh, strawberry would be good.
Well, it smells really good with that mint.
I know, that's why I went with the mint. Plus, it's also a good garnish.
Yeah, so you said that you went to your parents to make this, so I'm curious about that.
I'd never made a puree before, so I said...
You asked Mom?
I said, hey, Ma, you help me make a strawberry puree? Sure.
That's awesome.
All right. So I stopped over there, she helped me make it, and here's trying it. So
are we supposed to put the lime in it?
I mean, I want to, because I like the lime flavor. But,
okay.
Squeeze some in there.
So I'll do my very best to squeeze the...
Yeah, the glasses are rather full. I apologize.
Okay. No, it's good. Okay.
I suppose you could just probably eat the strawberry, too.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we fixed a setting, so if we sound a little different, that's why.
Oh, yeah,
I was sounding a little echoey before, and now I feel like I don't. Okay, so the gin and tonic tastes like gin and tonic, so maybe we have to... Okay, so... Oh, I almost lost the strawberry.
Not the strawberry.
I stirred it up, so I'll taste it with the puree like mixed in.
Yeah.
It's tasty.
You like it?
Yeah, I do.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. It's really quite basic. Again, it's just a gin and tonic with one extra ingredient, technically.
I wonder if we add just a touch of sweetener of some kind.
We could. I mean, the puree does have sugar in it.
Yeah. Oh, does it?
But I didn't want to over sugar it.
No, that's for sure.
Yeah, because otherwise it's too sweet kind of thing.
It's delicious. I like it.
Too sweet. Well, I'm glad you enjoy.
Yeah, good job.
Well, cheers to that.
Cheers to you. Okay, so I have a question for you.
What's your question?
What is your favorite nursery rhyme?
Oh, man. Chutes and Ladders by Korn. It doesn't really count because they incorporate a lot of nursery rhymes in there.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard that song?
No.
Oh man, we're gonna have to change that.
But why don't you tell me about an actual nursery rhyme? I mean, we've talked about Ring Around the Rosie.
Yeah, we have.
Do you have any other like nursery rhymes that you like? There's like Three Little Pigs and do you remember
Black Sheep?
Yeah, and the Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
Yeah, I do enjoy that one.
Do you remember the old man Hubbard and the dog or something?
In the cupboard or whatever?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I don't remember the words to it, but I do remember the, I guess it's a nursery rhyme, right?
I guess I would think so.
I don't know. I guess, I don't know if I really have a favorite per se.
Yeah.
The Baba Black Sheep is like the first one that came to mind, so maybe, I guess.
Yeah, I think I'm more in favor of the Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
So, do you have a favorite one? Is that what you would pick then?
Yeah, there was a song that my mom used to sing. It was, three bears in the bed, and the little one said, "Roll over, I'm tired." So they all rolled over and one fell out. Two bears in the bed, and the little one said, "Roll over, I'm tired." So they all rolled over and one fell out. One bear in the bed, and the little one said, "I'm lonely."
Wow.
I'm not sure if that's like legit how it goes, but that's how I remember it.
I mean,
Mom, you'll have to let me know.
Hey, let us know. I can honestly say I've never heard that before.
Yeah. Well, I asked because there's actually, it's not a like nursery rhyme, but it's more of a tongue twister.
Okay.
The she sells
by the seashore.
Yes, that tongue twister.
Yeah.
So my story is kind of based on that. Well, vice versa.
Selling seashells by the seashore.
That rhyme supposedly came from the story, although there's no like definitive documentation on it.
Gotcha.
But it's the story of Mary Anning.
Mary Anning? Mm-hmm. I am not familiar. Do tell.
Well, there is a movie based on Mary Anning, although it is so loose, I don't even think we can compare it.
Okay.
It's called Ammonite with Kate Winslet and Saoirse. I don't remember.
Saoirse Ronan?
Yes.
She's what? Irish, right? Scottish. Scottish.
Ooh, I don't know.
She's one of those two.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
50% right on one of them. Sorry,
Yeah.
Saoirse Ronan.
Saoirse. Yeah.
I believe that's how you say her name.
Yeah.
Because I remember watching her, I think it was on Conan O'Brien or...
She's probably got to like tell everybody how to pronounce it.
Yeah, she's quite a lovely lady.
Yeah, I really liked the movie, but it's very, very, very loosely based on.
When did that movie come out?
Oh, probably within the last 10 years. Maybe even shorter than.
That would make sense because I don't think she's very old, so, you know.
Yeah, maybe like 5 years, 6 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just curious.
Okay, so we're going to talk about Mary Anning. She was born in 1799.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Getting into my wheelhouse here.
I know, God, you're old.
What? What?
Well, that's not what you meant.
Not even
You
close.
meant the time period you enjoy.
Yeah,
Sure.
But hey, I'm old, folks.
Sure.
Wow. She had to get that jab in early today. Good Lord.
He's not even 45.
No,
he's not old. I just make fun
I'm
of
not
him.
even 45. And the reason why she says that is because I turn 45 very soon.
Very soon. Yeah. Okay. So she was born in Lyme Regis.
Lyme Regis.
Mm-hmm. Like, it's not spelled like, but it's like the flavor that we have in our drink right now.
So is it Lyme?
Yes.
Yeah.
Lyme Regis. And it is a southwest English country of Dorset, which is...
Oh, I know Dorset, yeah.
It's right off the coast of the English Channel.
Right.
So Lyme Regis is now known as, and that whole like strip of beach is known as Jurassic Coast.
I thought you were going to say park.
I was going to say Jurassic Coat, and I was like, that's not the word. And I had to like look down at my notes. Coast.
Hold on, I forgot the S.
Jurassic Coast.
Have they found a lot of dinosaur bones there?
Miss Anning was the first, a discoverer of many.
Is this the one who found the full T-Rex?
No.
Oh, because you had brought that up not too long ago to me, right?
Yes, so that was Sue.
Oh, yeah, that.
Yes, and I think that was in South or North Dakota.
That sounds right. North?
I don't know.
Either way.
I don't know.
Stay tuned to a future episode.
Yes. But
hope you enjoy, Al.
But this coast is where Mary Anning discovered her love of fossils. So the Anning family was very, very poor. Her parents, Richard and Molly, had 9 or 10 children. Like, they didn't even know how many because
they had so many?
So many passed away.
Oh, really?
Only Mary and her older brother Joseph survived to adulthood.
So out of the potential 10, 2 lived, basically.
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. So her father was a cabinet maker, and he was an amateur fossil collector.
Oh.
And Mary followed alongside her father by the time she was 5. So she would go on outings with him nearly every day.
Sure.
Together, they would hunt for, clean, and display fossils in his shop.
Interesting.
So Lyme Regis is known for their exposed cliffs. Mm-hmm. And the cliffs are layered, with each layer representing a different time period and environment.
Right.
And as sediments settled over millions of years, they were compressed and hardened into rock.
Yep.
The cliffs of Lyme Regis are constantly being shaped by the forces of nature. So erosion can be caused by wind, rain, and waves, and which exposes the underlying rock, revealing the fossils within.
Sure.
So the Annings would go out to the cliffs right after a really big storm because of all that potential erosion happening.
Because that's the best time to really see what the storm could have brought.
Exactly.
Or exposed or whatever. Yeah. So did they obviously live close?
Yes.
Right? To these cliffs?
Yes.
Okay.
So Mary had very little education. But she was able to read, and then she taught herself geology and anatomy. And she would copy poems. She would read a poem and she would just copy it word for word to kind of practice her reading and writing.
Sure.
So her father, Richard, died in 1810 at 44 years old.
That's how old I am. I'm about to die.
He fell off a cliff.
Oh, Jesus. Getting a fossil?
But he also had TB.
Oh.
So we're not sure if he died of complications from the fall.
Or from tuberculosis.
Or from TB, yeah.
Gotcha.
Or maybe he survived the fall with injuries, but the TB, yeah.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of factors involved.
Yeah.
But, okay.
So her brother Joseph took over his father's shop and eventually became an upholsterer.
Oh.
And her mother, Molly, actually her name is also Mary, but they call her Molly.
The mom? Mm-hmm. So, wait, there's 2 Marys?
There's actually 3.
What? Oh my God, stay tuned.
No. So one of the children that passed away early on was Mary the First.
And is this Mary the Second?
Yeah, they named this Mary off of the Mary who passed. And then Molly's name is also Mary.
That's confusing. They really need to get more creative.
So Molly's the mother.
Who's also named Mary.
Yes, but they call her Molly.
Why do they call her Molly?
Probably to distinguish her from everyone else.
Do you know how else they could have done that? Name them something else?
Something else, yes. And then one of their daughters who died was named Mary.
The first.
Mm-hmm. And then the Mary Anning that we're talking about was named after her sister who died.
That's so weird.
I mean,
that's really strange.
I don't know.
Because, obviously typically you see juniors in the first and
right.
on the guy side of men, boys, whatever side of things for names. You don't see that a lot with females.
Not a lot, but I think it's cool.
I mean, yeah, and confusing.
So we have all the names down.
Well, still confused, but yes.
So Mary had very little education, like I said, but her mother Molly encouraged Mary to help the family with the debts by selling the fossils that she had found with her father.
Gotcha.
Okay. So So her father died in 1810, right?
Yep.
So in 1811, and because of the way the cliffs are designed in Lyme Regis, a large storm came and dissolved away layers of sediment, exposing fossils. So every time that happened, she made that to her advantage.
Right.
So when Mary was 12 in 1811, one of these large storms happened. Joseph, her older brother, ended up finding a strange fossilized skull.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Do tell.
Can you imagine that being the first thing that you find?
No.
A whole skull.
That'd be pretty impressive, actually.
Yeah. So he asked his younger sister. He had to go back to work. He didn't have time to
Mess with this.
right,
Yeah.
but Mary did. So he asked his younger sister to find more bones to go with the skull. She tried for a year.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
And just couldn't?
She just couldn't find it.
Wow.
But she did eventually after a year of looking.
Oh, so there is a happy ending.
But it took another large storm for her to find it.
Oh, I suppose.
Yeah.
So basically just the head was revealed
Yeah.
on that initial storm, and then a second one was needed to find, well, the body, I guess.
Yeah, but she would dig and dig and dig and just never find it. But for a freaking year, I'm sure she's not going out there every single day of her life, but
Especially at 12.
yeah.
I mean, that's pretty young, but back then, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
So this time, Mary found a 3-inch wide vertebrae.
Oh, wow.
That's a big vertebrae.
That is.
It was stuck in the cliffside several feet above the seaside.
Okay.
So she knew this was something. So Mary, with the help of townsfolk, she literally hey, y'all, I need some help with this.
Yeah. Grab your shovels.
She dug out a 5.2 meter long skeleton, 17 feet.
Holy shit.
17 feet.
That's impressive.
That's 2.5 of you.
I know.
Actually, listen, more than that.
Little more.
No, yeah.
A little more.
Math. I can't do it.
It's almost 3 of me.
It's almost 3 of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in all, there were 60 vertebrae.
That's a lot of vertebrae.
There was a 4-foot skull with sharp teeth.
And that's what the brother initially found?
Yeah, the skull, yes.
Yeah.
There were flippers like a dolphin,
Oh.
a mouth like a crocodile,
Oh, so this is one of those sea dinosaurs? Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
a pointed snout like a swordfish.
I'm kind of picturing which one it is.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'm right. But
Yeah. The spine of a fish
right?
and the chest of a lizard.
That's so weird.
Yeah. So scientists actually thought that this was some type of crocodile.
Well, yeah, because they didn't know better.
Yeah, and the townspeople were like, nah, that's a monster, dude. In the early 1800s, people thought that bones that they didn't recognize were just animals from other lands that happened to migrate there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
So, not necessarily fossils, but hey, here's a bone from maybe a bear from way back when. I don't know.
well, and even they've found over time different styles of bears that don't exist anymore today. Mm-hmm. It's almost kind of evolved or whatever you want to say.
Right. And but they didn't know that.
No, because they had different just I don't want to say facial features because they couldn't see the face, but just the structure of their bones was a lot different. Their overall makeup of how their body would have went together is a little bit different, but very similar. So yeah, I mean, I get that.
Well, they thought about this migration because they were so sure that Genesis happened.
Right.
That God created Earth in 6 days.
Well, and that's the thing, especially being very religious, orientated back then. Before,
That's all they knew.
Well, that's because that was before Darwin, right? He was in the 1800s.
Yes, now that brings up my next point. Literally.
Holy crap.
I was going to give you some context. Charles Darwin's work on the origin of species wasn't published for another 48 years at this point.
It's like I knew what you were going to say.
Exactly.
But
Do you know what I'm going to say next?
Hello.
No.
Shit.
No, not that either.
So close.
So the word dinosaur didn't exist yet.
Okay.
Okay. So this is 1811, right? 1841, A scientist named Richard Owen coined
There it is.
the word dinosaur.
Okay.
And it originates from two Greek words.
Usually does.
Dinos, which means terrible, powerful,
Yep.
and wondrous. And sauros, which means lizard.
Sure.
So,
Terrible lizard.
yeah.
It's ultimately what it
So
means.
many years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. So Mary's landlord, who also owned quite a bit of the town, paid her £23 for the skeleton.
Wow. That probably was a lot at that time.
$3,000.
Wow. I mean, that's for...
For today, it would be $3,000.
Right.
That equated to 6 months of her living expenses. And like I said early on, she's very poor. Their
Right.
whole family is very, very poor.
That was a huge score for that family.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
So the fossil was then donated to William Bullock. He was a travelist and antiquarian. And he had a private museum called the Natural Curiosities of London. So it was donated to him.
Sure. Makes sense.
So there, the fossil was studied and debated for many years about what it could be. It was eventually named Ichthyosaurus,
Ichthyosaurus.
or fish lizard.
Fish lizard. I like it. Nice.
Science couldn't understand how this could even be real. Part lizard, part fish.
Yeah. They probably thought... Some people probably thought it was fake.
Right.
I mean, seriously.
So this lived 190 to 200 million years ago.
It's a long time ago.
So long ago.
Even older than me, Kate. By a couple of years.
Maybe a few. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Oh, dear.
So that length of time was inconceivable. I still feel like that is inconceivable. You can't,
I mean...
you just,
Okay, I'm almost 45. You're going to be 40 next year.
yeah.
Like, you think about our time on this planet, and that is exponentially multiplied
Yes.
ago.
Ago.
I mean, it's hard to, like... I mean, especially when you're younger, age is a really weird thing, concept even. Like, I thought people who, when I was, 10, 11, 12, who were 40 were fucking ancient.
Yes.
And now I'm halfway through my 40s. It's like,
And
holy
you're like,
shit.
no, I'm not that ancient. I mean, I tell you are, but
Well, and I feel like it, ask my knees. But no, it's like to perceive that amount of time is like, it's inconceivable to me.
and people thought that the earth was only 6,000 years old.
Well, and some still do.
But we won't go into that.
Do you want to know what's really weird? Some people think it's flat too.
That's fair. So there is a man by the name of Sir Everard Home.
Everard?
Everard
That's a-
Home.
Funky name. I like it.
He's a renowned scientist,
Okay.
and he increased the fossil's fame by writing a series of papers about it for the
Ooh.
Royal Society of London.
Okay.
So it is the Royal Society of London for the Improvement of Natural Knowledge.
Damn right it is.
Yes.
Is that still a thing today?
I don't know. I know. You always ask me the questions I don't know the answers to.
925.
So it's one of the oldest continuously operated scientific academies in the world. I just had to keep reading.
Fair enough.
I wrote this like 5 days ago.
I understand. I know.
I forget such things.
I forget such things.
So despite Anning's significant contribution to the fossil's preparation, Home, of course, failed to acknowledge her involvement.
Of course he did.
She's a woman.
Well, and that's what I was going to say, because she's some little girl. Mm-hmm. But yet these guys are going to just take basically the credit for it.
Yep.
That's bullshit.
So between 1815 and 1819, Anning continued to make significant discoveries, unearthing several more ichthyosaur fossils.
Wow. So she's got a couple under her belt then.
Yes. So
Okay.
these included near complete skeletons of various sizes from just 5 feet all the way
So
to 20 feet.
Basically an infant
Yes. All
to
the way
an
to
adult. 20 feet.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So in 1821, there was a man named William Conybeare, and this person comes back again, Henry de la Biche.
Okay.
They are both prominent scientists of the Geological Society of London. They collaborated together on a paper analyzing Anning's fossils and others that she has found.
Sure.
Henry de la Biche was actually a childhood friend of hers, and they would go hunting for fossils together.
Nice.
Yeah. So their research determined that ichthyosaurs were a unique type of marine reptile and identified at least 3 distinct species based on their tooth structures.
Oh, so they literally found 3 different variations,
Yeah, so
if you will?
it would be like, this is a bear, but is it a grizzly? Is it a Kodiak? Is it a black bear? Yeah.
I really like Kodiak bears, by the way. Did you know that George Washington never knew dinosaurs existed?
I believe it.
Well, because of when he died.
That was like...
The reason why I find it wild that he never knew dinosaurs even existed is just because, like, obviously in our lifetime, there's probably something that's discovered, but it's like, we've always known about dinosaurs. It's like, to know there's a time where someone didn't know dinosaurs existed is just wild.
Yeah.
Because obviously science has evolved, everything's evolved, whatever. But it's like, he never knew there was these giant beasts that roamed the planet at one point.
Right.
That's crazy. He's like, I could have used them in that war. Anyways.
So along this time frame in 1818 to 1819, Mary met lifeguards officer Lieutenant Colonel Thomas James Birch.
Lifeguard?
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't know.
That's probably different than a lifeguard.
Probably.
Okay.
He purchased many of the items for Mary in this one year.
Okay.
Including a near complete ichthyosaur.
Can you try that again so I can understand what you're saying?
I'm trying to find the pronunciation.
Oh, you didn't have it?
Ichthyosaur.
Okay.
I only wrote the pronunciation down once. Ichthyosaur.
All right.
Okay. So at one point, after a very long stretch of having no sales, Birch came through for the Anning family.
Yay, Birch.
He saw how freaking poor they were.
Okay.
He sold off 102 fossils of his own, including the ichthyosaur.
That she found? Mm-hmm. Wow.
For 100 pounds, which equals $14,000 today.
That's pretty good.
In total, $50,000 was raised. For 400 pounds, $50,000.
Wow.
He gave all of it
To that family?
to the Annings.
That's pretty impressive. That's very generous.
Yes.
I mean, especially at, what, 1815? We're at 1819?
1818, 1819, yeah.
I mean, that's very generous of him to do that. So,
And if it made the news because he was doing it for a reason, he wanted...
for charity.
Exactly. So it put the Annings in a little bit more of a star power.
Sure. Makes sense because, people are talking about him too. So
Yeah.
I get that.
And he knew, like, this is a big deal. Her finding all these fossils is a big deal for science.
Because, that's a lot of freaking fossil.
Yeah. So in 1823, Mary's next discovery, she was around 24 years old.
That's what I was just going to say.
She discovered the skeleton of a plesiosaur.
Ooh, not the plesiosaur.
It means near to reptile.
Oh.
It is a long-necked marine reptile with 4 flippers.
So I'm assuming that they found a lot of these marine ones because of...
Where they were.
They're on an island to begin with.
Right.
So, I mean, I would assume that's very prominent in that
common.
area.
Yeah.
So, okay.
So this was a huge moment for her as it was nearly complete. It was 9 feet long.
Jeez.
And 6 feet wide.
Holy shit. It's almost as wide as it is long. That's crazy.
The mouth was 1 meter long, sharp teeth, and the eye, which is the largest of its kind, looked like a slice of pineapple.
A slice of pineapple?
Mm-hmm. So it's like all those like ridges.
Oh, sure. Gotcha.
And that type of eye was meant to see in like the deep depths of the ocean.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And their 4 flippers maneuvered like dragonfly wings.
Oh.
Yeah. And they were air breathers, so they had to come up to the surface.
They went that deep, but had to come up.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So despite widespread acknowledgement of her fossil discoveries, Mary Anning's contributions were again overlooked.
Of course.
With the credit going to others. The people who would purchase from her or the ones who would end up donating her fossils would get the the credit.
The credit, yeah, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
But and I bet you 100% of them were men.
Yes.
Weird.
And I mean, it was all due to like a lack of documentation.
Well, I don't think it was all due to that.
Well,
but I think that was
a lot of it.
The majority of it.
Also, her social status and her gender.
Well, that's my point. It's like, hey, I just bought this skeleton of this dinosaur, this newfangled dinosaur off of this chick.
24-year-old.
Yeah, nobody knows who the hell she is.
Yeah, she's got no status.
They're going to know who the hell I am right now.
Yeah, many scientists found it difficult to believe that someone with such a disadvantaged background could possess something or even know
like
what she's talking about.
Yeah, and isn't that just sad? Mm-hmm. Like, well, she was poor. She can't clearly know what she's talking about.
She also would sketch all of her findings.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So,
can I ask you another question you don't know the answer to?
Probably.
Do any of these sketches still exist?
I believe so.
Continue. Okay.
Actually, I believe so.
Really?
Yeah, I believe so.
That'd be pretty cool.
So, papers were written by scientists.
Yeah.
Presentations were given by scientists.
Yeah.
And they also had Anning's drawings. And she was never gave credit to. She wasn't given credit to any of them.
So, and I'm not trying to jump the gun, and I'm hoping you can just tell me. I'll get there. How did she get notified, or not notified?
Credited,
basically.
I will tell you.
Yes. All right. Something you can tell me.
So, throughout her years of fossil hunting, she would oftentimes encounter a small type of object.
That is a tough word to say, isn't it?
Object.
Can you please re-say object?
Object.
All right.
They were twisted and rounded, like kind of dark gray pebbles.
Okay.
They were sometimes shaped like cones, spirals, and cylinders.
Is that those? I just lost the word.
Ammonites?
Yeah.
No.
No, that's not what I was thinking.
She would find these objects within the abdominal cavities of ichthyosaurs, and thinking they were undigested food, they contained fish bones and scales. Okay. But she didn't know for sure, so she called in a favor. So she shared...
For being someone of poor standing, had a lot of favors.
People know who she is.
Clearly.
They just don't give her credit.
Which is bullshit. Mm-hmm. Those bitches.
So she shared her observations with an English theologian and paleontologist and geologist, William Buckland.
Oh, hey, William.
And he eventually determined that they were actually fossilized feces. Poop.
So he ate shit?
Excrement.
Excrement?
Crap. Dung.
Oh, shit.
Shit. He called these fossilized poop. Sorry, Penny. I said poop. She went running.
I got to go.
So he called these coprolites. Words are hard.
I can tell.
Coprolites? Coprolites. It is literally Greek for dung stone. Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Dung stone.
How did you fuck stone up?
I don't know.
That was impressive. Well done. Continue.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anning's discovery of coprolites contributed significantly to the understanding of the diet and behavior of ancient marine creatures, and it became one of the most important techniques available to paleontologists.
All right.
So, in 1828, Mary found yet another impressive fossil.
She was 29.
This one had long tail and wings.
Is that different than wings?
Wings. This was the first pterosaur.
Oh.
Also known as the pterodactyl.
Correct.
And this was the first of its kind in this area.
All right.
So this particular pterosaur, that's what they kind of called it, was pterosaur back then. Eventually, it was pterodactyl. But
Right.
this type of pterosaur was called the dimorphodon.
Dimorphodon.
It means two forms of teeth.
Oh, so it's got two
Forms of teeth. Massively long ones out front to snatch prey,
And then
and shorter, sharp ones in the back for chewing.
for grinding them up, basically.
Yeah. So it was less than 4 feet long,
Oh, so a lot smaller than I would have thought.
but it had a long tail compared to the body.
Sure.
Had claws,
Oh.
a large skull,
Whoa.
and it looked like a cross between a vampire bat and a reptile.
What kind of reptile?
I don't know.
Crickets. I'm going to put some cricket sounds in right here.
So the
There it is.
dimorphodon was
Dimorphodon.
it was one of the earliest species, dating from around 200 million years ago,
Ah, that's it.
and it had a projected wingspan of 1.4 meters or 4.5 feet.
Wow.
As well as flying, all pterosaurs walked, but they would like fold up their flying fingers to like keep their wings out of the way as they're walking.
If they folded up their flying wings, what did they do with their walking wings?
Shut up.
I had to ask. You set it up.
So 200 million years ago was almost 70 million years before the first known bird.
Really?
Yes.
That's crazy.
And Penny is playing with a piece of paracord, if you can hear her nails in the background. Okay, so Anning was finally credited
Oh.
for having discovered this fossil.
So who actually credited her for it?
I don't know.
God damn it. Do you know anything?
Well, you got to tell me what your questions are before I have to answer.
But you're teaching me something, so I don't know what we're talking about. Arg.
I don't know.
I can tell.
In 1829, she found another more perfect plesiosaur.
Oh, really?
And this one went to the British Museum
Is it still there?
for 105 pounds.
6 pounds,
No,
7 pounds. Oh,
that is equal to $19,000 today.
that's pretty good. I mean, that had to keep the family afloat for a little bit.
So, also in 1829,
Okay.
after several days of rain,
30 years old.
she uncovered a new species of ray, like a stingray.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they've been around for a long time, correct?
It's called the squaloraja.
Squalo Raja. It's like the Maharaja.
Maharaja.
Yeah.
It lived approximately 150 million years ago during the Jurassic era. And it is literally an ancestor to the shark and the ray.
Really?
Yes.
To both?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
But I thought sharks were around back then too.
But they looked different.
Why are you talking like a belly girl?
Emma.
No, you're not. You're from Nebraska. Jesus Christ.
They have valleys there.
Between the corn, that's not a valley. That doesn't count. That's just because the fucking combine.
I was like, no, they call that a ditch.
Exactly. And just because the combine came through the middle of the field, that doesn't constitute a valley or whatever.
Okay, so this squaloraja was 1.5 feet.
That's pretty short.
It was it had two immense sockets for the eyes, probably to
It
see
had two
deep.
what?
Sockets.
You said something before
Immense.
that. Oh, okay, because that word wasn't clear to me.
It had a long snout.
Snoot?
It had a flat, long head. It was almost like a flat diamond.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Crazy.
It had very tiny vertebrae.
Okay.
Had claws
What the?
and fins like wings, like a stingray.
It's the whole birthing the stingray thing. Mm-hmm. All right.
So I read a book called The Fossil Hunter by Shelley Emling.
Okay.
And she quotes, was another extraordinary transitional creature, this time between sharks and rays. As such, it provided yet another piece of proof for the chain of being.
So, and I'm sure you don't have the answer, and that's perfectly fine. How? Because, like, obviously sharks and stingrays are vastly different. How is it, like, so associated with both?
Only the strong survive.
That's the worst fucking answer you could have given. And go. Jesus Christ.
So again, down on her luck.
How is she constantly down on her luck? Does she just piss this fucking money away? Jesus Christ, Mary.
This is like years and years difference. Like she'll get the money, and that's probably all she gets for a really long time, and she's got to use that up.
Go get a real job.
So not having found any fossils to sell, the market was drying up as well because of the War of 1812, limiting exports, the reign of King James IV, and his fanatical spending. So all of that, like between 1812 and then like
all of it just compounded to be really bad for them, basically.
So her childhood friend, Henry de la Biche, comes back.
Is it de la Bette or de la Biche?
Biche. Beche.
I mean, I got that. You said de la Bette.
It's because I misspoke. Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
He came to her rescue with a gift.
Oh, like a gift of marriage?
No.
A proposal?
Although there was a rumor that she was in love with him and he didn't reciprocate, but I don't know if she ever said anything to him.
Oh, so it was one of those, I like you.
Yeah.
Okay. So
he painted the Duria Antiquior. Antiquior. That's probably better.
I believe in you.
Duria Antiquior.
Okay.
It means a more ancient Dorset. It was painted in 1830, and I'll show you a picture of it here in a second.
So he painted this?
He painted this. Okay. So he sold prints and lithographs of this painting, which details in full color and grandeur the three types of ichthyosaurs, plesiosaur, and dimorphodon. All of Mary's findings.
That's pretty cool.
He put in this painting.
Okay.
It is considered the very first pictorial representation of prehistoric life based on fossil evidence.
That's pretty cool, actually. Mm-hmm. I would assume this painting still exists.
Yes.
Awesome.
I don't know where it is.
Where is it?
I don't know where it is. So, again, described from the book The Fossil Hunter by Shelley Emling. The focal point of the drawing, a large toothy ichthyosaur, was shown biting on the slender neck of a plesiosaur.
Scandalous.
While another plesiosaur was lunging from the shallow water in a sneak attack on a crocodile basking on the shore.
What?
I know, there's a crocodile in here. In the distance, there was an elongated neck of a plesiosaur hurling itself into the air, trying to take a nip out of a low-flying pterosaur.
Also known as a pterodactyl.
End quote.
Not my part. So basically, the painting was, I mean, obviously it's not a representation of something they found. It was, so you have to zoom in on that.
Yeah.
I'll look at it later. I can't see that far. Okay. I have glasses. I'm old. So basically, his painting, though, is just, let's be a little fantastical, because I mean, not saying that couldn't happen, but he had no idea if that was accurate.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And he did all of this just to get her out of a financial slump. She got a lot of friends.
Apparently, especially this dude who she was in love with.
Yeah. So between 1830 and 1847, Mary Anning continued her fossil hunting and research.
1830 to 1847? Mm-hmm. Okay.
So despite increasing competition from other fossil hunters, she remained a respected figure in the field.
That's crazy.
Her discoveries continued to contribute to the understanding of prehistoric life. Wow. So during this period, Anning also faced health challenges due to his arduous work and exposure to the elements. Despite these difficulties, she remained dedicated to her passion for fossils. And on March 9th, 1847, Mary died from breast cancer.
Oh, that's too bad.
She was only 47 years old and still in financial strain despite a lifetime of extraordinary scientific discoveries and help from friends.
That's crazy.
She became the first woman memorialized by the Geological Society of London, although as a woman, she had not been allowed to join.
That's just ridiculous. I get it because of the timing, but you think on it now, it's like, what the hell? Look at what she found, and you're like, Nah, you can't because you're a woman. Cool.
Today, the Natural History Museum in London showcases several of Mary Anning's spectacular finds, including her ichthyosaur, plesiosaur, and pterosaur.
That's pretty cool.
Much like they did 2 centuries ago, her fossils continue to captivate visitors from around the world.
Well, I mean, that's especially with how intact they are. Mm-hmm. That's impressive. I'd like to go see them.
Yeah,
I've never been to London. You said it's in London?
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? I would love to go just go see her damn freaking fossils. That's pretty cool.
Her house is also a museum now.
Oh, is it really?
Mm-hmm. So she has had several things named after her.
Okay.
So the Anning House, which is a museum in Lyme Regis dedicated to her life and work.
Makes sense.
Anning Street,
Ooh.
a street in Lyme Regis.
Thank God.
Anningia.
The what?
Anningia.
I don't know what that is, but okay.
It is a genus of extinct marine reptiles. It was named after her.
Oh, there you go.
Mm-hmm. And Anning Point, which is a geological feature on the Jurassic Coast, which is a 95-mile stretch of coastline where Lyme Regis sits.
Yeah, so basically they named where she found her fossils after her.
Right.
Okay.
And this place was also declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2001.
What's UNESCO?
I didn't write it down.
Oh.
Supposedly, she was also named after a comet.
So Mary's Comet?
Because she's a star?
What?
I don't know. She's named after a comet.
She's named after her mother.
A comet is named after her.
Oh. So it's kind of like Haley's Comet and Mary's Comet?
Maybe.
Same thing? Or is it Molly's Comet? No, that's her mom.
I don't know.
But also was her mom, too.
But
that's weird.
That is the story of Mary Anning and her fossil discoveries.
Well, that's kind of cool because I didn't ever hear about her, probably because, well, I'm not English. I'm American. But that's pretty awesome that she found that many fossils, like especially on the coast like that with a little help from the Mother Nature, obviously. But,
so I actually have an ammonite here.
Yes, that's what I was trying to. I couldn't obviously not articulate that.
This
before.
is an ammonite, so it is a
piece of poop.
No. It is extinct marine creatures that lived during the Paleozoic and Mesozoic eras.
And that's what they ate, right?
Mm-hmm. They were closely related to modern-day octopuses and squids.
Octopi?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So they had coiled shells that were often symmetrical and intricate. The shells were made of calcium carbonate, similar to shells of snails and clams.
Nice. And
the size of ammonite shells varied greatly, ranging from a few centimeters to over a meter in diameter. So this one is probably an inch and a half ish.
Yeah, it's not a huge one, but it's still pretty good size.
Yeah. So the internal structure of ammonite shells was divided into chambers, which were connected by a tube. And the tube allowed ammonites to regulate their buoyancy and maintain their position in the water column. So it's almost like your eustachian tube. It closes off and
so they can raise and lower kind of thing.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Nice.
Ammonites were important predators in the marine environments.
Oh.
They used their tentacles to capture prey, which they then consumed using their beak-like jaws. Ammonites were also prey for other marine creatures such as sharks and plesiosaurs. Mm-hmm. And the fossil record of ammonites is extensive, making them valuable tools for geologists in dating rock formations. The different species of ammonites lived at different times, so their presence in a rock layer can provide clues about the age of the rock.
Okay.
So this is my ammonite.
How long have you had that?
I don't know.
Oh my God.
Couple years. I don't remember who gave it to me. If I bought it myself, I have no idea. I don't remember, but
that's all right. You don't remember a lot.
I don't remember a lot, but I do have an ammonite, and I have seen the Ammonite movie with Kate Winslet and Saoirse Ronan.
Saoirse Ronan, yeah.
And like I said, super, super loosely based.
Well, so who does Saoirse play? Mary Anning then?
No, Kate Winslet does.
Oh, so she...
And
older?
they made her look like a really old spinster.
Well, that's kind of shitty.
And so Saoirse was apparently like a high society woman who was going through a bout of depression.
So she just wanted to buy some fossils and like.
Well, her husband dropped her off at Mary Anning's and said, "Here, take care of her for me." Essentially, like go off.
That happens all the time.
Go off and do some activities together. So.
Did they have a lot of room for activities?
Well.
I mean, the coast is only so big.
I know, but they actually did partake in activities in the movie.
Oh.
Yeah, together. Mm-hmm.
Oh, dear.
Mm-hmm, which is why it's very loosely based.
Scandalous.
Because there's no mention of that in historical documents.
And obviously there probably wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Especially from that time frame. So
yeah.
Makes sense.
So.
No, that's interesting. I never knew about Mary Anning. That's kind of cool that she found all those. That honestly really is. Obviously, I mean, especially... I'm not saying little girls aren't, but it always seems like little boys are big fans of dinosaurs. I know my son was a huge fan of dinosaurs. I think he's already kind of evolved a little bit from that. But I remember being huge into dinosaurs too when I was little too. So it's kind of cool, especially seeing like those different kind of marine ones instead of just, I mean, obviously as T-Rex is badass and Brontosaurus, blah, 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 whatever. But those marine ones are pretty sweet too, which again makes sense that they found them on the coast of England because of what it is, basically. So, but yeah, no, that's pretty interesting. I had no idea about her, so that's cool.
Yeah.
So, how's your drink?
It's delicious.
Yeah.
And I want another one, even though I'm not even finished with this one.
I am so keeping that in there. Holy crap! Nom, 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 nom. Well, I'm glad you enjoy it. Again, I know it's not very involved, but
no, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I was excited to have you try it because
strawberry mint lime gin and tonic. Who knew?
Yeah,
it's delicious, and I'm excited to keep drinking it while you tell me about an idiom.
Well, the nice thing, the nice thing. I'm just trying to copy Kate and her mannerisms there. It's super simple. It's literally just making a puree, putting it in a gin and tonic. It's super simple. Garnished with, I just put the strawberry on there for presentation.
It was beautiful.
It looked pretty good. It looked better than I thought. Yeah. We'll have to take a picture of one. We'll make another round after we're done.
Oh, shucks.
But because the first one was just the layered, if you will, how I made it. We'll mix it up.
Okay, yeah.
And with the garnish, just so you can see the difference, because definitely better once it's mixed together.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how much the puree would be drawn up, if you will.
Right. It just sunk to the bottom. But
only because I started with that.
Yeah, and
basically.
I stirred it, and it's been emulsified together. It hasn't separated at all.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So, all right. So the idiom I have for you today, when you pay for something and it costs an arm and a leg, why is that, Kate?
I don't know.
Okay. So there's a couple different things that I've found on this. And again, any of these idioms I do, it's funny. I'm like, ooh, I thought I found the actual reason for it or the origin of it.
Yeah.
And then
something else.
Randomly, I'll come across the same one and it's like, oh, wait, well, is that right? Or is the one I said right? I don't know.
Yeah.
So there's a couple different things I did find on it. One has to do with medical bills, which clearly arm and a leg, kind of thing. But it said it may have come from the idea of paying a high price for medical bills after losing an arm and a leg in an accident.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep, let's see it.
The next one was portrait painting. This one I've actually found pretty interesting. The idiom may be related to 18th and 19th century portrait painting, where full-bodied portraits cost more than head and shoulder portraits.
What?
Yeah, so basically, the more of your body that was in the portrait that they had to paint cost more. So if it was like a bust, basically, which is what, your shoulders and up, correct?
Yeah.
It was cheaper.
Oh my gosh.
I thought that one was interesting. Again, not sure if it's accurate, but I thought that was pretty funny. Mm-hmm. There's one that says it might be criminal slang, where it may have come from 19th century American criminal slang phrase, if it takes a leg, which meant to express desperate determination. I feel like that's a little more of a stretch, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
But basically, other things I found is that it originated from America, after World War II, where a lot of servicemen lost arms and legs due to the war, and it was a pretty much high price to pay
Right.
because of that.
The war cost an arm and a leg.
Correct. Literally,
Right.
because
Right.
they
That makes
lost an
sense to
arm and a
me.
leg. That makes more sense than the criminal one
For sure.
that I said. I kind of like the painting one. I'm
Yeah.
not sure if that's accurate, but
That's pretty cool too.
I thought that was pretty funny.
So basically, no one knows.
Well, and that's what a lot of these idioms like, because I don't know, I find them fascinating because where did the origin of this come from?
Yeah.
And there's so many variations that I've found. Who knows if what I said is even fucking right at all?
Right.
All of them could have been right. None of them could have been right. One of them could have been right. I don't know. But I find it funny this especially with our language, the English language, being so diverse within itself because it pulls from a lot of different other languages too. Mm-hmm. You don't really know, or at least I sure as fuck don't know. I'm trying to find out, but I still don't know. So I don't know. I think they're kind of neat though. I like the idioms because we use so. I saw looking this up, and I think I got the number right. There is over 25,000 different idioms that we use in our language.
25,000. What?
That is a lot of idioms.
What?
Say what? So I mean, whether that number is accurate or not, that would be staggering because you think of some of the just random shit you say, you might not even think of, like,
Right.
It just becomes natural because you've said it for most of your life or whatever.
Yeah, so I I listen to a lot of podcasts, and when I hear an idiom, I'm like, oh, I'm going to take this one to Bradley.
yeah, pretty much. And that's great. But like, the different ones, it costs an arm and a leg.
It's raining cats and dogs.
Yeah. When you say, oh my God, I want to buy that TV, but it costs an arm and a leg. Mm-hmm. You know exactly what, like, if you said that to me, I know exactly what you're saying. Oh, that's expensive.
Yeah.
Because obviously giving up an arm and a leg is a high price to pay.
Right.
Is ultimately what it is. Whether the origin is one of those that I just read or not, maybe not, maybe. But anyways, it's pretty wild, all the different idioms that we use on a day-to-day basis. And
Yeah.
I'm sure there's plenty that I don't realize I use that it's like, oh yeah. And I'm sure a lot of people, same thing, they just don't realize.
Yeah, if you have a favorite idiom that you like to use, or an idiom that is not super common, we would love to hear it.
Yeah, please send us an email through our website, historybuffoonspodcast.com. There's an email section on there. Mm-hmm. Or even on this episode, there's a link to send us a text, say, I want to hear about this idiom, because I'd love to look into them more. Some random ones that I might not know, or obviously some common ones too that just people like to say or use or whatever. That would be great.
Yeah.
So.
And I really appreciate some of the recommendations that are coming in as well.
Yeah, you've gotten a couple, right?
Yeah, so I will be doing some of those in the future.
Yeah, and we'll give a shout out to the person who suggested such a story and go from there. But yeah, we appreciate anyone who's listened to us so far. I have to say, Al, it's more than you. And I'm kind of not sad to say that.
Yeah.
But thanks for being our first fan, Al.
Yeah, and thanks to everybody else who have downloaded and followed and.
Yeah, I mean, again, we do this for fun, but we're glad that a few people have listened to us. Is all I'm saying. Mm-hmm. So thank you for everyone who has, and we hope you've enjoyed the nonsense that we've put out. And
I mean, you are pretty nonsensical.
Well, and no one can understand you, so.
Well, that's because I flip upwards.
You flip upwards?
Flub. Case in point.
Yeah. I'm like,
Jesus.
Good Lord. I mean, I'm glad you were on point for that one. But anyways.
Well.
I suppose. All right, buffoons. That's it for today's episode.
Buckle up because we've got another historical adventure waiting for you next time. Feeling hungry for more buffoonery? Or maybe you have a burning question or a wild historical theory for us to explore.
Hit us up on social media. We're History Buffoons Podcast on Reddit, X, Instagram, and Facebook. You can also email us at historybuffoonspodcast@gmail.com.
Follow us wherever you get your podcasts and turn those notifications on to stay in the loop.
Until next time, stay curious and don't forget to rate and review us.
Remember, the buffoonery never stops.